Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Johnny TCG video. I'm Johnny TCG. I'm excited to see you here today. Today we're talking about the one, the only green-purple limb leader from OP09. This is a leader that I'm a big fan of. I wouldn't really call her a sleeper leader because she has proven herself in multiple events, topping multiple events, getting some great results. So by no means is she off meta, by no means is she a sleeper. But at the same time, I don't feel like she always gets the respect she deserves. Today we're going to be taking a look at the deck. We're going to be also going over games in the sim and then talking about it afterwards. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the content. And if I sound a little funky, I'm still recovering from the tattoo flu. Editor, throw up on screen one of the tattoos I got. It's a buggy tattoo. Is there any buggy fans in the chat? Is it cool? Is it cringe? You can let me know in the comments down below. I won't be offended. Because at this point I've done multiple deck profiles on Lim and the deck list hasn't really changed much, I'm not going to do an in-depth breakdown today. I'll just cover the leader and some of the changes I've made to this deck list going into EB02 that I've really enjoyed. For those that don't know, Lim is an OP09 green-purple leader, 4 life, 5,000 power, and she's got the ability to not only cheat out bodies, but also ramp. Her first ability is a stipulation that's pretty weird. It's that all of your characters come onto the field as rested. That makes things a little bit awkward, but her other ability does make up for that fact. Sometimes. Her other ability is activate main once per turn. You may rest 3 of your Don. You set up to 1 Don from your Don deck as rested. Then you get to play an Odyssey character cost 5 or less from your hand. It's pretty self-explanatory how this leader ability is good. Not only are you cheating out bodies, 5 cost for only 3 Don, you're also ramping so that you're going to be able to play bigger bodies sooner. While this deck does hypothetically allow you to play bigger bodies sooner, because they come onto the field as rested, sometimes they don't feel great to play. Right now, I'm only running 1 big body and only 3 copies at that, and that is OP09 Audio, a 9 cost 9,000 power body. The great thing about Audio is he synergizes perfectly with the leader. That, of course, makes sense because he was made for the leader. On play, if your leader is Odyssey type, you get to restand 3 rested Don. This is a great way to play out him on 9 Don and then also cheat out a 5 cost body hypothetically using leader ability. Then he also has the other ability of opponent's turn once per turn. You may rest one of your active Don, then give up to one of your leader or characters plus 2,000 power for the battle. While I have done deck lists with a lot of big bodies and deck lists with no big bodies, I'm really enjoying playing Audio at the least. He's searchable, and in a lot of matchups, having this big body that also provides you defense every turn if you leave a Don up is really valuable. So I'm liking him a lot. I recommend you consider trying him as well, but if you're not playing him, I definitely get it. 2 other cards I'm really liking in this current format is first Sakazuki, the 6 cost 7,000 power body. You can't cheat him out with leader ability, but that's alright. On play, if you have 2 or more rested characters, you get to pop one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. If your opponent doesn't have stage and you're playing EB02 Luffy, this is the perfect way to get rid of a Sanji and Pudding right away. Another nice 9 turn that I really like is this card for 6 and then cheating out another 5 cost body for 3 Don, whether that be a Sabo, a Doflamingo, a Nanel. The list goes on and on. This deck has a lot of possible combos, and I think if you're into that and cheating out bodies, you'll probably enjoy this deck. There's probably a lot of blue Dofi players that would enjoy this deck if they just gave it a shot. Another card that I'm playing right now is the 4 cost 5,000 power Nico Robin with 1k of counter. This card is mainly used in the black matchups. I'm looking at you, Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci is such a menace, and this is a good way to prevent your board from being KO'd by effects. She's also good in the matchup with the return of the starter deck 14 Luffy leader, another black leader that's going to be a really annoying deck to deal with. But because she's not super valuable in a lot of matchups, I'm only running her at 2. Overall, I'm enjoying this leader a lot, and I'm enjoying her in the current meta. The biggest thing when playing this leader is just to avoid Shanks matchups because you're just going to get destroyed by Shanks most of the time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just not a great matchup for us. I don't think she gets any direct support in OP11, but I'll definitely be trying this leader in OP11 as well, so stay tuned for that. On the topic of OP11, are you guys ready for OP11 deck lists? Let me know in the comments down below if you're ready to start seeing those. Before we get into the gameplay, of course, we've got a custom giveaway today. If you're new to the channel, we do a custom giveaway in just about every video. Today, we're giving away a custom Don card. It's not Lim related. It's actually going to be Buggy related to celebrate the tattoo. Editor, throw up the custom Don card on screen. All you have to do to enter the giveaway is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. It's as simple as that. I'll randomly choose 1 US-based commenter to win the custom Don. If we get 25 likes in the first 24 hours. It's as simple as that, folks. I did not make the art, folks. This is official anime art that I am not claiming to be the original artist. I am not selling this. It's just a fun personal fan project. If you want to win, like, comment, and if you feel so inclined, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It means the world to me. With that being said, editor, roll the gameplay. And before you roll the gameplay, editor, I am still recovering from the tattoo flu, so if my voice sounds a little bit weird, I apologize. All right, editor, roll the gameplay. Our first game of the day is going to be against Starter Deck 21, Red Luffy. Not a leader you see very often. I guess you do see him on the sim a little bit, but you don't really see him too much on the actual competitive scene. I do think he's a slept-on leader, though. Let me know if you ever want to see me play a Starter Deck 21 Luffy deck. I would definitely be down to try it. We're on the even curve, which is okay for us. I don't think it's ideal, but we can make it work. We do find that one-cost limb, which we love to play out turn one. Finding that limb is such an important part of our game plan. For 3 Dawn, they're going to play out the Starter Deck 21 Nami, which is so good in this deck. I was playing a game the other day with a different leader, and I was unable to remove that Nami, and it was such an issue because they just got value out of her almost every single turn. I won't make that mistake again, though. I'll start with a limb swing of 0 power, then I'll be able to play out the new gate that allows me to pop the Nami. Now I'll swing 6,000 with our leader, 6,000 into life. They will take that, and then I will just pass it back to them unless they have a trigger. If they have a trigger, things could get pretty awkward. The reason I played out the new gate before swinging with our leader is because if they had a trigger that could potentially hit our 0 power limb, that might have been an issue. We are going to pass it back to them. 5 Dawn for them to work with. We could see the Starter Deck 21 Monkey D. Luffy. They'll play out the 4-cost Zoro, which they will be able to give Rush. Using leader ability, they're able to give it 2 Rested Dawn. They'll swing 7,000 into our new gate. I am happy they're swinging into our new gate here because we are going to 2k counter out of that. Then they have 6,000 left to swing with their leader. Are they going to swing into Newgate? Yes, they will. 6,000 into Newgate. I am very happy they're swinging into Newgate right now because he is a 6,000 power body, making it way easier to counter out of these swings than if they were swinging into my life. I do think there is merit to the idea that they just ignore my early game bodies and just put pressure on my life, but I don't play their deck. I'm not exactly sure what the best play lines are. We're going to start off with the 3-cost Limb Searcher. I'm leaning towards a Mihawk just because I love that Mihawk effect of being able to restand one of our characters. Now we're going to be able to swing 6,000 with Newgate. We're going to ignore that Zoro just because we don't really have a way to deal with whatever body they potentially cheat out if we get rid of it. They'll take the 6,000 power swing into their life. Now I'm going to do another 6,000 power swing with our leader, 6,000 with Limb into their life. I imagine they're going to want a 2k counter out of that. Nope, they take that, and then we will play down the Enel. The Enel is definitely our best bet here. I guess you can make the argument Mihawk wouldn't be a bad idea either to restand our Newgate, but I think we get more value playing out Enel, cycling our hand a little bit, getting card advantage, and then saving the Mihawks for when we're trying to go for game. 7 Dawn for them to work with. They've got a ton of cards in hand. They're going to start their turn with a 2-cost event, Gum Gum UFO, giving minus 4,000 power to our Edward Newgate. Then they also get to plus 1,000 to their leader. Then they have the Get Lost event from OP09. It's a Red Hair Pirates event, but it works in this deck. They're going to KO up to 2 of our characters with a power of 4,000 or less. Because of 1-cost Limb's ability, we're actually able to rest the Newgate before Limb gets popped, which is absolutely huge. So we basically got to keep our 1-cost Limb on the board, which is great. I'm pretty sure that's the official ruling. I don't think that's a sim bug, but let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. Now they're going to use leader ability, give 2 Dawn to their Zoro. I think this is a 2k counter out of. Yeah, we can give them the Usohachi. We also have a Portgas Ace and another Usohachi, so we've got plenty of 2ks. 7,000 now, and I think we should give them another 2k. It does feel a little bit scary going low in cards and hand size, but I think it's worth it to just keep the pedal to the metal and continue the pressure. So we're going to give them another 2k counter. We've got these Mihawks in hand, which could expedite just how quickly we go for game. I'm thinking this turn we start out with the 5,000 power Limb character swing into their life. Then we can do a Mihawk and combo that with an Enel perhaps, and then play down the Rosinante 3-cost blocker. I think this is a decent idea just to apply a lot of pressure into their life. They'll counter out of our 5,000 power Limb swing. Now we're going to swing 7,000 with Enel. We do plan on restanding that with a Mihawk. Depending on how these swings go, we could hypothetically restand him twice, but I don't think that's what we're going to do. They are going to counter out of this with 3 1Ks. That is pretty crazy. The fact that they had to do 3 1Ks and no 2Ks, that's a little bit scary for them, folks. Now a 7,000 power swing with Enel again. They will take that. An 8,000 power swing with our leader into their life. Will they counter out of that? No. We'll play down the 3-cost Rosinante blocker and pass it back to them. I think we're in the clear here, folks. Unless they have some sort of spice I'm not thinking about, unless they have a crazy amount of counter in their hand, I think we're actually going to win this next turn. I shouldn't speak too soon, though. 5-cost Rayleigh blocker comes out. The OP09 card lets them draw 2, trash 1. Off the Rayleigh's ability, they are going to trash a 2k counter Sanji from starter deck 21. That seems a little interesting to me. In this situation, a 2k counter would be probably pretty important, but I don't know. Maybe they're cooking up some sort of game plan that I'm not seeing right now. They're going to use that Gum Gum UFO event to minus the power of our Mihawk. They're probably going to try to clear it this turn. 7,000 now into the Mihawk, which is 2,000, and I'm going to let that go for sure. Now 7,000 with their leader into our life. I'm thinking we just block this, make room on our board. It doesn't really matter. I think we're in a pretty good spot. We top deck the 5-cost Sakazuki, which is great, but I'm going to make a little bit of a misplay here. I play it out to KO the Rayleigh, but I forgot that I need to rest one of my characters first. That is pretty bad, folks. That's pretty unfortunate, but I think I'm still going to win this game. They counter out of my first 5,000 power swing. Now another 5,000 power swing. They'll 2k counter out of that. Now a 7,000 power swing with Enel. No matter what they... Let's see if they got it, though. A Radical Beam right here would go pretty crazy. They're going to counter for 1k and then just concede. If they would have blocked that with their Rayleigh, I just would have got the final hit with the Mihawk, and... yeah, even if they did have a way to get out of that, I still think we're good to win that game. We got a counter in hand. We've got counter in our life. We would have been fine, folks. On to the next one. GG's. Now we've got a game against starter deck 14 Luffy. Is today going to be all games against starter deck Luffy leaders? No, it's not. We've got a good Vegapunk game coming up, so stay tuned for that. In this game, unfortunately, we do not see the 1-cost limb going first. That is a big bummer. That card is important, as I said last game, as I say in every limb video, basically. They're going to be on the even curve, which I think they prefer, so we'll see how this goes. 3 Dawn for us to work with. Of course, it's just going to be a 5,000 power swing with our leader, and then we'll probably cheat out the Sabo. I think that makes the most sense to me. I'm a little surprised they counter with the Brook, but my expectation is that they're just going to bring that right back with a Rebecca play, so it's no really big deal to counter with it. 4 Dawn for them to work with. We could see Rebecca, we could see the 4-cost Kuzan. I don't really have a great way to deal with 4-cost Kuzan right now, which is a little bit awkward. Ourselves a Mihawk. Then I think the move for me is to use leader ability Rampadon, cheat out the Newgate to rest their Kuzan. Now I'm going to swing into their Kuzan, but I imagine they're going to counter out of these swings. They have plenty of cards in hand, and Kuzan's just too strong to let go like that. They'll give us a 1k counter out of the 5,000 power swing, and then a 2k to get out of the Sabo swing. Off their Sabo, we are able to draw a card, which is nice. Passing it back to them, they're at 6 Dawn. We could see that 5-cost starter deck 14 Sanji, which is so strong. They'll start by giving their leader 1 Dawn, swinging 6,000 into our character or life. Moment of truth. Drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen. They're deciding themselves. 6,000 into Sabo. I think I'm going to counter out of these swings just to keep as many characters on the board as possible. They do have that starter deck 14 Sanji to pop the Sabo. Now, will they swing with the Kuzan? That's the question. They won't swing, which makes a lot of sense because he's active. It's going to be a little bit awkward for me to remove him. I'm going to start off my turn with the 5,000 power limb swing, which they will take. Now I'll do a 5,000 power leader swing, and they'll take that as well, which is good news. Now I'm thinking we do the 9-cost audio. I'll swing first with Edward Newgate, of course. 6,000 into 5,000. They will 2k counter out of that. Now we'll play down the 9-cost audio. Using leader ability, I'm able to cheat out another body. I'm thinking we cheat out here the Rosinante or the Doflamingo. We're going to go with the Doflamingo. A 5-cost body, of course, is way stronger and harder to remove than the 3-cost Rosinante. Passing it back to them, 8 Dawn for them to work with. They're going to start with the 5,000 power swing from Kuzan. I think I should definitely take the free block here with my Dofi. We'll use Rosinante as counter, RIP Rosinante, if you know, you know. They'll throw 3 down on their leader, swing 8,000 into our Doflamingo blocker again. Should we be crazy and counter out of this? I think we should. We'll get rid of the Nami and then maybe the 1-cost Limb. I think that's the move here, folks, because I'm betting you that 5 Don they have left up is for a Sanji, and yep, it is. Now, we are in a decent spot still. Not a lot of cards in hand, but we have an audio to play again back to back. That's going to feel great. We're going to try to clear the Kuzan this turn, swing 5,000 first with our Limb character into it. They will counter out of it with the 1k. They said, no way, Jose, are you getting that Kuzan so easily? I'll give 1 Don to our Newgate, swing 7,000 into the Kuzan. I've got a feeling they'll let it go now. They do. Now I'm going to play down the audio for 9 Don, restand 3 Don. I'm not exactly sure I'm going to actually play out another body with my remaining Don. I might leave 1 Don up so I can use Audio's ability of getting plus 2,000, 6,000 with our Dofi into a rested Sanji. They'll 2k counter out of that. Here, I am going to play down the Mihawk, but I don't think I would have been crazy to leave 2 Don up, or leave a Don up and then swing with our Limb into their Sanji. Let me know in the comments if that was like a big mistake. I definitely think it's questionable. Maybe it was the best play though. Maybe it was a good play. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about that. They took the 5,000 power leader swing, 10 Don for them to work with. They'll start with a 6,000 power Sanji swing into our Mihawk. We are going to let that go. RIP Mihawk. Now a 6,000 power swing into our Newgate. I'm actually going to counter out of this. Is this crazy, folks? The reason I'm doing this is because now they have to invest Don if they want to KO my Newgate. If they want to get rid of my audio by swinging into it, they'd have to put a ton of Don on their leader, and I still have my Dofi blocker to get out of that. They'll throw 1 Don on their leader, swing 6,000 into the Newgate, and I let it go. Maybe countering out wasn't that big of a deal, but let me know what you think about that play in the comments down below. 9 Don for them still to work with. A 9-drop Kaido would go hard. A Jack would go very hard as well. They have another great option, which is the 7-cost EB02 Sengoku. Off the Sengoku, they're able to bring back a Kuzan 4-drop. That's all they got though, so now they pass it back to us. We top deck the Sabo, which is good, but not really anything special. Another audio here would have went so hard. I'm thinking here, what is the optimal way to clear their board, or should I maybe even pressure their life a little bit and just put them on edge for potentially going for a lethal next turn? I'm going to start with a 7,000 power swing into their Kuzan. If they want to block with their Sengoku, they'll have to give us counter, but they don't. They let the Kuzan go. It was basically a pseudo blocker. I'm going to give 3 Don to my Limb character, swing 8,000 into one of their rested Sanjis. I'm going to clear board here, I guess, but I don't think it'd be crazy for me to swing into their life. 8,000 into 6,000. Do they have the counter? Do they have an event? Possibly. They do have 2 Don up after all. Not many black decks run counter events nowadays, especially not any that require Don to be up. They will let the Sanji go. Now I'm going to swing. I'm thinking 7,000 into another Sanji. I'm going to leave 1 Don up for Audio's ability. That's why I don't add another one to my leader. 7,000 into 6,000 now. I wouldn't be surprised if they counter out of this. They will. They'll 2k counter out of that. Now a 9,000 into 6,000 with Audio. I feel like they're probably going to let this one go if they let the other one go, but yeah, they do. Now I'll use leader ability, cheat out the Sabo, and then pass it back to them. I can restand my Limb and my Doflamingo. We didn't really make any progress in pressuring their life, but we did do a number on their board. We'll see what they have to answer back though, because they're not in a defeated position yet. If anything, we might be on the back foot. Even though we have a lot of characters, we have no cards in hand, and you know in this game, no cards in hand can often be a death trap. You're setting yourself up for failure, which I guess in this case, I'm setting myself up for failure. They're going to start off by giving 1 Don to their leader, which makes them a 6,000 power base, 9 Don left to work with. They're probably just trying to figure out how can they remove as many characters as possible. I wonder what they have in their hand right now. They're going to swing 9,000 into the Audio. We can use Audio's ability though to keep him alive. By resting 1 Don, we can give him plus 2,000 power, which is absolutely huge. I'm not sure if maybe they thought I was sleeping at the wheel, or maybe they didn't realize he had that ability. Either way though, we're able to keep Audio alive. They have 7 Don still to work with. We could see another Sengoku. That would be interesting. A Jack could also be used to pop our Limb, but I don't think that would be super crazy at this point in the game. They do have the Jack. They will pop the Limb, and yeah, they get to cycle 1 card, which is really good, especially late game when you're looking for those 2Ks. They get rid of a Brook, and then they pass it back to us. I think we're good to just continue to play a control game right here. Maybe throw some Don on Doflamingo and Audio, trying to clear this Jack, and then swing with Sabo to draw another card. Maybe I just go straight for life though. Should I ignore the Jack? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I'll just swing 7,000 into their leader to maybe force them to use their Sengoku blocker if they don't want to go down too low. The reason I'm swinging with Dofi and then probably Audio first is that I can use Sabo's ability to draw one card when attacking. 7,000 into 6,000, do they have the 2k, folks? Let's find out. They don't have the 2k, but they do have the double 1k. Now it makes getting rid of Jack even easier. They only have one card in hand. I'll swing 10,000 at the Jack with the Audio and they let it go. Now 7,000 into their leader with Sabo. We draw a Mihawk off of Sabo, which is huge for us. I don't think we necessarily need to play it this turn. I think we will though. Swing 8,000 with our leader into their life now. If they take this, we'll probably play down the Mihawk, restand our Sabo. Either way, we won't be able to win this turn because they do have that Sengoku blocker, but yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll use it here or they concede before they even... While they could have survived that turn and continued, they did have a Rebecca next turn, which would have been strong. It probably wouldn't have been enough, and they feel the same. It wasn't completely over, but there was very little hope for them winning. So, yeah, on to the next one. GG's. Now we've got a game against Black Smoker. We don't see the 1-cost limb in our opening hand, but I do like the rest of our opening hand, so I am going to keep it. We're on the odd curve, which we like. We don't have a 1-down play, so we'll pass it back to them. 2-down for them to work with. They are going to play down the brand new Searcher from OP03. Looking at the top 3, they will draw that 4-cost Kuzan, then pass it back to us. 3-down for us to work with. I'm thinking here we establish a 5-cost Doflamingo using leader ability. We'll start with the 5,000 power leader swing. Wouldn't be surprised if they take this or counter. They will counter with the Sengoku. Then now we'll play out the Doflamingo, then pass. 4-down for them to work with here. They're going to start off by playing down the Borsalino from OP02, the 4-cost 5,000 power blocker that can't be KO'd by effects. Solid choice, 5,000 now at our leader, which I think we're okay to take. I also don't think it would have been a terrible idea if they just threw all their Don on their leader and swung big into our Doflamingo just to try to get it off the board, because that's going to get us a ton of value. 6 Don for us to work with, and I like where we're at. I'm going to start out with a 3-cost limb play, just doing a search to see what other bodies we might be able to find. I have a couple of great options here. The 9-cost Audio is what I'm leaning towards, but the 4-cost Nico Robin and the 6-cost Sakazuki would also be great choices. The reason I chose Audio is I think it'll benefit me in this matchup to ramp to a big body that will require a lot of resources for them to remove. I'm going to swing first with our leader for 5,000 because I want them to free block with Borsalino so that we can swing into it, but they don't. They decide to take that life. Then they decide to block and let the Borsalino go off our Doflamingo swing, which is a little bit surprising. I think that's a little bit of a misplay, but you can let me know in the comments down below if you disagree. I think it is though. Passing it back to them, we established that Sabo using our leader ability, which is great. We've got 3 decent sized bodies on the board now. I was expecting to see the 5-cost Tashigi here, but they go with the 6-cost Sakazuki play. They're going to be able to pop probably my Sabo or my Doflamingo. They will pop the Sabo. They have to trash a 2k counter out of hand, which is a little bit rough. 5,000 into our leader. We can free block with our Doflamingo, and now we are at 9 done, sitting very comfortably. We got plenty of cards in hand, lots of characters on board. 5,000 swing with limb character first. They're going to 1k counter out of that. I think that's a little bit of a misplay as well. I think they should have taken that, but I don't know. You can be the judge of this, folks. Another 5,000 power swing. They will 1k counter out of that. A 6,000 power swing. They're going to 2k counter out of that. I don't love including this game because I do think my opponent is making some misplays, but I just want to showcase how strong Lim can be. Even if they did take those hits, I still think we're in an amazing position. Now they don't really have a lot of cards in hand, which is to their detriment, but look at just how strong of a board we've built nonetheless. I'm going to use leader ability here after playing out the Audio to cheat out another Dofi blocker, 2 6k blockers, which is huge. We're in a really good spot. They have 8 down to work with, and I don't really think there's anything they can do to come back from this. They're going to start for 4 down, playing down an OP02 Kuzan, getting to draw a card, which is nice for them. They have another 4-cost Kuzan to draw another card. Now they're going to be able to swing 5,000 with their leader, 5,000 on our leader. We can just free block this for sure. Then they can do a 7,000 power swing with Sakazuki. They choose not to do it. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. Either way, folks, this game's over. We're going to swing 5,000 with our limb into their life. They will 1k counter out of this. We're going to use leader ability to play out a Edward Newgate to rest their Kuzan. I'm playing it a little bit safe here. One of the things is that sometimes I play the game too conservatively. I'm trying to be a little bit controlly here, even though I could really just pressure their life like crazy right here. I'm going to play out another Newgate to rest their other Kuzan just to ensure like total dominance. I'm just doing this to really just ensure that there's no way they can come back and win. 6,000 into 5,000, they'll 2k counter out of that. Now 7,000 into 5,000. This is going to have to go either way. Then I'm going to be able to swing big with our audio into their life. And at this point, the game is basically over. They've got a couple of turns left, if that, but we're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure here. Off the Rebecca, they're going to bring back a Borsellino from their trash. That's the Borsellino blocker that they played out before. Then off Rebecca's ability, they're able to cheat out the 3-cost Kobe from OPO2. They're able to pop one of our bodies using the Kobe's effect. It's going to be the Limb, of course. That's the only one they can hit. RIP Limb. They trash a Rebecca from their hand, which feels bad, and now they play on the Borsellino. No cards in hand. They can still swing with their leader. 7,000 now into our leader. We can just block out of this with the Doflamingo and 2k counter. In hindsight, though, countering out with the Portcast D-Ace was a misplay on my part because that Ace does have utility to play out. I also didn't use Audio's ability at all there. I think that was intentional though, just to get a card for my life that might be useful. I do feel really silly not using that Ace's ability, so yeah, that's a L on my part. Now I would be able to rest one of their blockers. We're going to start by swinging 7,000 into Sakazuki. They'll either have to block or let it go. They will let it go. Now we're going to swing 6,000 or maybe just 5,000. 6,000 into the Kobe with one of our Doflamingos. They'll block with Rebecca. Interesting that they're blocking out of that one and not the one into the Sakazuki. 6,000 into Kobe again, they will block out of that one. Now 5,000 into Kobe, it's gone. 9,000 into their life with audio. Now we're going to play out the Limb Searcher. We find a Mihawk, which could be really strong. I'm thinking we cheat out the Mihawk to restand one of our bodies, or I guess we just prepare for next turn and we play out the Sabo. This is definitely overkill though. We left 3 down up. That 3 down can be used for Audio's ability. It can be used for Blast Breath to keep one of our characters alive. I don't think we're in any danger of dying here though. Turn up the speed editor because this game is basically over. Using leader ability, they're able to give Limb -1 cost, then pop her with the T-Bone. That is no problem at all. 8,000 into our life now. We're going to use Audio's ability and block with one of our Doflamingos, then give them a 1k counter to keep the Doflamingo alive. They're going to throw a couple down on their brand new to swing 5,000, which we can free block. Here, it's going to be all over, folks. We can just swing 6,000 with Dofi, another 6,000 with our other Dofi, 6,000 with Sabo, and even if they counter out of this, we've got a big audio swing coming up, and that's game. I know that wasn't the most competitive match, but I do think that is a great example of just how well Limb is able to flood the board and establish bigger bodies like audio, so I wanted to include it. On to the next one though. We've got a game against Vegapunk, which is one of the strongest leaders in the game now, believe it or not. He got some good support in EB02 and everyone is jumping on the Vegapunk hype train. We are on the odd curve, which we like. We're going to start swing 5,000 into their life with our Limb. They'll 1k counter out of that. Now we will swing with our Limb 0 cost as well. We're doing that so that we can use the Anel's ability when we play him out. We get to draw 3 trash 2. Now a lot of audios in our hand. I don't think we really need 3 of them, so we're going to trash one of them, and then we're also going to trash the 3-cost Rosinante blocker. The reason I got rid of the Rosinante blocker is that this matchup, they have a lot of ways to pop it, and I don't really think he's worth playing out, most likely. So I'm keeping 2 audios in my hand because I think if we can ramp and get both of those out, we're going to be in a really good spot, especially with his ability. They're going to use the Dareshi to draw Pythagoras and Lilith, then use their leader ability to add Pythagoras to the top of their life. They're going to be able to cheat that out, which is pretty strong. That's basically all of their triggers allow them to cheat out bodies. So you got to be careful when attacking into their life. You got to be sure to manage your own capabilities of defense if you're going to make them trigger out a bunch of bodies. We're going to start off with a 3-cost Limb play just to do a search. We find the 5-cost Doflamingo, which it is a blocker that can be popped, but at the end of the day, it's still a strong card. We'll force them to have the Nami to deal with it. Now we're going to do 5,000 with our leader first, 5,000 into their life, see if they want to take this and use the trigger, or maybe they counter out of it. They will counter out with the Nami. I think they should probably take this and let the trigger go out, but I don't know. I don't play Vegapunk. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, folks. 6,000 now with our Anel into their life, which they will 2k counter out of as well. Unless they have a plan to draw more cards, I am surprised with just how many cards they're giving us from their hand. They're down to 4 cards in hand, which they could have triggered a free body, but we'll see what their game plan is. They've got 6 down to work with this turn. Maybe they have the Egghead Nami to pop our Doflamingo blocker. That would be a bummer. Then they could also use leader ability. We'll see what they can do though. And my observation hockey was right. They do have the Egghead Nami. They're able to trash a card, then pop my 5-cost Doflamingo. Then with leader ability, they're able to put a Lilith onto their life, which is fine. That's not really too scary. I think that they could have also just played it out on the board as well. It wouldn't have made much of a difference. 5,000 now into their life. They will take that and trigger out the Lilith. They do get her on play of being able to do a search, which is strong for them. They find the EB02 Vegapunk, which is one of the strongest cards in their deck and going to be a little bit annoying for us to deal with. We do play out the audio on our turn. We are able to restand 3 Don. We're going to swing 6,000 with our Limb. We're not too worried about their triggers right here. Now 6,000 with Enel as well. They will 2k counter out of that, and then we'll pass it back to them. We are going to leave 2 Don up just for the sake of having 2 Don up. The 1 Don can be used for Audio's ability, and then the other Don, we could have gave it to our leader or our Enel to swing 7,000, and then they wouldn't have been able to 2k counter out of that swing, but I think it's fine. Maybe we get a Blast Breath out of life if we really need it and it's a desperate situation. For 5 Don, they're going to play down the Rush Ace, and it looks like they're just going to pressure our life like crazy here. 7,000 now. I think we're okay to take this. We will, and we get the Sabo, which is a 1k counter, which is fine. Nothing too crazy there. Now with 7,000 power swing from Pythagoras, and we are going to start countering out of these a little bit, using Audio's ability to give our leader plus 2,000, then using Sabo as a 1k counter. Now with 6,000 power swing with their Lilith, we'll 2k counter out of that. Now they can do 6,000 with Nami, and we will take that. We get the Limb 3 cost, which doesn't have any counter and is not super helpful right now. Now I'm debating on whether or not to just push for game, because it is possible we get game, or I can play it a little bit more conservatively, try to clear their board a little bit and just survive another turn, starve them for resources. That doesn't seem like a bad idea to me. I have a couple different options though. It's always hard to tell in these situations against a deck like Vegapunk that plays so many triggers. We're going to start off by clearing their Lilith. They give it to us right away. Now I'm going to play down another Audio, being able to restand 3 Don. We're going to swing 6,000 into the Nami, 6,000 into 5,000. Will they counter out of this, folks? Let's see. They will let it go, which is good news. Maybe they don't have any 2Ks in their hand. I'm going to swing 7,000 now into Pythagoras. Hopefully they let this one go too, and they do. But I actually made a little bit of a misplay. I forgot that Pythagoras lets them cheat out a body. They're going to be able to cheat out the 5-cost Lilith, but it's not really a big deal. We are going to swing 9,000. We play it a little bit risky by swinging into the Ace, which if they had the counter would have been easier for them to counter out of. If I wanted a guarantee to get a body off board, swinging into Lilith would have made more sense, but I played it a little bit risky. Now we're in a pretty good spot. They only have 1 character on board. We have 2 9-cost, 9,000 power Audios with their abilities with 2 Don up, and then we got plenty of counter in our hand. They have the 5-cost Egghead Luffy to pop our 3-cost Limb. No big deal there. 5 Don for them still to work with. We could see an Egghead Nami perhaps to get rid of R and L. They also might want to use leader ability to cheat out a body into their life, and they do. They cheat out the Atlas into their life. Then they're going to play a Dareshi to draw 2 cards. They find a Vegapunk EB02 and then the OP07 Shaka. They'll swing 5,000 into our life, and we are good to just keep using audio abilities here. We can do that and not have to actually use any counter, making our leader 7,000 power or 1 Don left up, and they may just save that for an event. I'm itching to start going for game, but I don't think it's the right time. I'm going to start with the 5,000 swing into their Lilith, just trying to get it off the board. We're going to get it off the board one way or another between all the swings we have. The question is, will they protect it at all? They will. They'll play down or use the Vegapunk as counter. Now a 9,000 swing with our Audio, and they do let it go. I didn't want to swing with my Enel first. I just wanted to get it right off the board. We're going to cheat out another Enel using our leader ability, doing a card cycle, drawing 3, trashing 2. We're going to trash a 1-cost Limb and then the 3-cost Limb that doesn't have any counter. Now I'm thinking we swing with Enel into their life. We'll swing 7,000, giving 1 Don to our Enel. They will take it. They'll be able to play out the Atlas, and because we are at the same amount of life, that ability is not actually active, so I could cheat out or play out a Edward Newgate here or the Usohachi to rest a Lilith and then swing into it, but I decide not to. I'd rather keep the Don up. We'll swing 9,000 with Audio into their life. They do take that, no trigger, and I think I'm just going to pass with all this Don up. It's pretty crazy, but I think that's the right play here. Keeping counter in my hand, you never know just what kind of spice Vegapunk's going to cook up, and they do have that 7,000 power Rush Ace. We are going to use the Audio ability, and then we'll trash a 1k counter. 5 Don left for them still to work with. They can still swing with their Atlas, of course. They're going to use leader ability to cheat out a Shaka into their life. Then for 4 Don, they will play out the Frankie Egghead from OP07. They will swing with the Atlas, but I can just use Audio's ability again to free counter out of that, basically, and then they'll pass it back to us. We should be able to get game here. We're going to start off with a 7,000 7,000 power swing from RNL. They will take that. Shaka gets played out. Here I can swing again, or I could also rest the Shaka with Usohachi or Edward Newgate. I am going to play out the Edward Newgate, not that I really think it makes that much of a difference. Now we can swing 7,000 with our other NL. If they don't have a trigger here that saves them, then this is basically game. We'll see. Maybe they can counter out of this, though. They will take it. Is there a trigger? Moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's an Atlas trigger. That's not good enough. GG's, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the games I got for you today. What did you think about them? Not all of them were maybe the highest skilled games, but I think it's really still valuable to see just the potential of this leader. I think regardless, there were a lot of situations in which there may have been a misplay, but we were just able to show how strong this leader was anyway, and despite the misplay, even if they didn't misplay, we still would have been in a decent position. I really like this leader. I really think people should try her out more if you're not playing her already. If you are playing her, let me know in the comments down below. Give me feedback on this deck list. I would love to hear it. With that being said, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, you are a real one. That's all I got to say today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace. But don't forget to subscribe. Seriously, it's free. It's easy. Why aren't you subscribed yet? What the heck?